different. It feels obscene to wish that anything was different when I've been given 2 wonderful hot meals and allowed to luxuriate in a warm, soft bed all day. Master has sat with me most of the day, too, and he's been amazingly generous with his gentle touches, scratching behind my ears, stroking my hair, rubbing my shoulders, without requiring any service. I never could have dreamed of such a day, and neither could any familiar I've ever known. Even the strongest familiars and most pleasing pets would have their minds boggled if I told them what I've experienced today. However, Master keeps giving me water. As soon as I empty my glass, he sweeps off to refill it. The water itself is lovely, clean, and cool, and Master looks so pleased when I drink, but it feels like my bladder is going to burst, and I don't have permission to leave the bed.
Here you go.
Master sets the glass down for what must be the 3rd time since dinner. My face must give away my distress because he leans in and gives me a soothing scratch behind my ears.
You need to get hydrated, Blue. Water's good for you. Anyhow, I'm starting to get worried that you haven't needed the bathroom yet.
I blink at him in surprise, only barely remembering not to meet his gaze. Master... Master stiffens, and my whole body tenses up. I clamp my mouth shut.
Oh!
I see a flush travel down his neck.
Stars, Blue, why didn't you say something?
I hate questions like that. There's no good answer. Nothing but my constant standby. I'm so sorry, Master. Please forgive me. He pulls the sheets off of me, and it's so hard to keep from curling my body into a protective ball. When his hands reach for me, I have to bite down on a frightened squeak. But he just picks me up and pulls me against his chest, turning towards the bathroom.
Were you embarrassed?
He asks as he carries me through the door.
I'll give you your privacy, I promise. You can call me when you're done, and I'll carry you back.
That wasn't it, I say hurriedly. I can't afford for him to think that it was any kind of reluctance or rebelliousness that kept me from making my request. I didn't have permission to leave your bed, Master. I didn't want to be disobedient. I was wrong. Please punish me as...
Stars, Blue.
His voice is weary.
If you need to use the bathroom or be anywhere else in the house, just ask. I'll carry you. Now, call me when you're through, all right?
He shuts the door behind him, and I rush to do my business and wash my hands. It's a little challenging without the use of my feet, but I would grasp a handful of embers before disobeying that particular command again, especially after the trouble and expense Master has so generously incurred to mend the effects of my first disobedience. Making things even more difficult, I'm trembling and lightheaded at the knowledge that I've fucked up and annoyed my master again. He's probably only delaying my punishment because he didn't want to take the risk that I would make yet another mess on his floor. Once I'm finished, I face a new problem. How should I call out to my master? The situation feels very wrong, with him awaiting my summons beyond the door. I have to handle this delicately, and avoid even the slightest hint that I expect my master to jump at my call. Master, I'm finished, if it pleases you. I finally quaver out as humbly as I know how. I make no effort to hide the fear in my voice, as it can only work in my favor. The door opens, and I bow my head as deeply as I can manage.
Are you all right?
Master's voice sounds concerned as he strides towards me. I press my ears closer to my head. Yes, Master, thank you. I'm ready for my punishment. I'm not going to punish you, Blue. Master sighs as he scoops me into his arms and carries me back to the bed.
Now, come on. It's time to apply your medicine again.
Master is silent as he works the salve into my soles, and I can't help worrying. Does this mean he's angry? Is he the sort to stay quiet when he's irate? When he's finished and I'm tucked back under the warm covers, Master stands and stretches, rubbing his eyes. Understanding washes over me, mingled with relief. His silence came from weariness, not displeasure. I'm safe. For now.
"All right, Blue,"
Master yawns.
"I'm going to head to bed. Is there anything you need before I go?"
Go?
"What's wrong?"
Master asks, and I flinch. He must see the worry and confusion on my face, neither of which are acceptable emotions for me to display in response to my master's stated will. Master, this is your bed. I can't help the way I cower under the bed sheets.
"I thought you might like to have the bed to yourself tonight,"
Master responds cheerfully, though his smile is just the slightest bit strained. My ears press back at the sight. Was I bad the first night, when he held me? I curse myself for the heavy sleep that's left me with no memories, no clues. Did I do something to disturb my master's sleep? Did I squirm, or cough, or talk in my sleep? It doesn't matter what I did to displease master. The facts remain. I've lost my chance to sleep cradled in his warmth in his gentle arms. I cannot stay in his bed, and I have not received permission to leave it. I'm frozen in my indecision.
"I'm going to sleep in the guest bed," Master continues. "I'll leave both our doors open, so you can call if you need anything. You might have to shout a bit, but don't worry, I'm not a very heavy sleeper."
But, Master, this is your bed. My voice is almost a whisper as I repeat myself, and I draw my limbs in tight. I hate being confused. Confusion leads to stupid mistakes and delayed obedience, and those things lead to punishment. But I just can't fit everything together in a way that makes sense to me. Stars, why do I have to be so stupid? Was I always this slow, or have the years of blows to my head turned my brains to soup? No wonder my handler didn't want Master to waste his time with me.
"That's okay, Blue."
His large hand comes down on my head, stroking gently.
"You're comfortable here. I don't want to move you."
This is wrong. 2 days ago, I'd never slept in a bed. And now Master wants me to take the best bed in the house? This has to be a test, a trap, something. A whimper builds at the back of my throat, and I can't entirely swallow it down. Master, please, I can't take your bed. It isn't right.
"Blue."
Master's tone is growing frustrated, and I bite my trembling lips to stop myself from immediately launching into a litany of pleas for mercy. Master breathes deeply, then continues, his voice a little steadier.
"I'm sorry, I'm not making myself clear. I know this is strange for you, but you're on bed rest, remember? You're weak right now. You've been ill. You need healing."
Weakness and sickness are not excuses for being lax in my duties. And, in fact, despite the privations of the cages and last night's misadventures, it's hard to remember a time since I was a child in the kitchens that I felt this healthy and strong. The perpetual tremor in my hands has eased. The constant pain of my body is less than I've ever felt it, and there's no hunger twisting my belly until I can almost feel it gnawing my spine. Master speaks again, and I force myself to focus on his voice.
"This isn't how things will always be, Blue. These are special circumstances. I need you healthy and strong by the time school starts, remember?"
Finally, I have the missing piece. I understand why Master is feeding me so much, spending money on medicine, granting me bed privileges, and sparing me the long list of punishments I've incurred. I relax into the soft mattress, which feels so much better now that I know why I'm on it. "Of course, master," I breathe, closing my eyes and focusing on his hand on my head. "Please forgive me for questioning you, master."
"Nothing to forgive."
His fingers encounter a tangle in my hair. Rather than pushing through the obstruction, he slows his movement and begins gently working the knot free, so blessedly careful not to cause me pain, even in his idle stroking.
"You didn't understand."
I'm suddenly wary. I've seen exceptionally stupid familiars try to use ignorance as an excuse before, and it has never ended well. I don't dare bow my head and disturb his hand, but I lower my eyes submissively, determined not to fail this test. "It doesn't matter if I understand or not, master. My place is to obey." He's worked the tangle free, but his hand stills on my head instead of resuming its mindless petting.
"That's not... Blue, if you're confused about something I've asked you to do, you can always ask me about it. I'm not gonna punish you for asking questions."
Like most of what he says, it sounds far too good to be true. His voice is sincere, and his hand resumes its soothing movements, but I stay tensed, still waiting for the trap to spring. Master stands and heads towards the door, then pauses halfway through the room, bringing his palm to his forehead with a loud slap that makes me whine low in my throat and hunker under the covers.
"Oh!"
"Master?" He rushes back and crouches beside the bed, grasping my hands in his.
"Blue! I am so sorry. I kept meaning to say something, but I forgot. The house looks wonderful."
I'm stunned into silence, but he doesn't seem to mind as he gently squeezes my hand and goes on.
"You didn't have to do any of that cleaning yesterday. It was very kind of you. Of course, I wish you'd taken more time to rest, but it was still an amazing job. I've never seen the place look so nice. Please be more careful in the future, but thank you very much."
My astonishment builds all through his speech, but when he thanks me, I let out a strangled little gasp. Gratitude is not for masters. Gratitude is for the likes of me. I express my gratitude for food, for punishments that allow me to earn forgiveness, for the air that my master continues to allow me to breathe. My work is the least part of what I owe in exchange for all of this. My lungs feel tight and panicky as I'm squeezed by the knowledge of how little I deserve my master's words. No, I mustn't cry or panic. I must focus on the fact that I've pleased my master despite all my mistakes. I don't miss the gentle warnings scattered through his speech, but I can still bask in master's approval.
"I hope you didn't think I hadn't noticed," he continues. "Anyhow, thanks again. Good night, Blue."
It feels obscene to wish that anything was different. My whole day has been a miracle. My master is a miracle. But when the door shuts behind him, I wish he had stayed.